What's up, guys? My name is Victor, and today I'm going to tell you what I believe to be the number one reason why people slow down their manifestations and many times don't even acquire them. And it has to do primarily with your logical, reasoning, physical mind. Because the physical mind, your reasoning mind, what your stream of incessant thoughts, it is in a direct contradiction to the nature of existence, the nature of our reality, which is dynamic and ever-changing. That's the key word, is change. Our reality is constantly, always changing. And yet our physical minds are desperate to keep things the way they are, to hold on, to resist change. And what is accelerated manifestation? That really is another way of saying accelerated change. So on one hand, you're intending for these changes to come about. I want to manifest $1 million. I want to have a better job, a new car, a new wife, whatever. These are big changes. And then your mind doesn't want any change to happen. So there's this dichotomy. There's this dissonance. There's this inner conflict. And that is therein lies the source of all the struggles, basically. So the way out of this, and it's not a simple, from my experience, it's not just a quick fix. I wish it was, but you just have to kind of train yourself to remind your higher, your ego mind, your mental faculties to just shut the hell up. Just say, you don't need to worry about this shit. You don't have to worry about how it's going to happen. Why is this happening? What's going on? What's going to happen? When is it going to happen? Shut up. It doesn't matter. You're probably pretty far off from exactly how and why and when it's going to happen. You don't know shit. So stop acting like you do. That's what you got to do, in a sense. The more enlightened you become, or at least the higher up in the process you become, you'll find yourself talking to yourself more, because there is like two of you. There's the higher mind, your soul self, your spirit self, which is starting very rapidly for a lot of people to make itself known. It's starting to kind of merge with our experience here on Earth. We're no longer just like the ego personality. We're starting to kind of oscillate between both. And the more the higher self comes in, the more the ego goes apeshit. The more you want to manifest, the more the ego is like, it's having a hard time with this. And that you don't want to fight the ego. You want to just kind of be more gentle with it. Remind it that it's okay. There's a new source of navigation for our life. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't really have the capability of figuring it all out anyway. So why don't you just relax? And you'll have to keep doing that. You'll have to, in fact, gain experience where you experience actual evidence that the higher mind actually does know what's up, will get you to where you want to go, even though your mental aspect might think otherwise, okay? So it's a dance, and it takes practice, and it takes time, and it takes experience. But again, the essence of your solution is to relax, having to know how and why and when your manifestations will come. Because in doing that, you are actually preventing it from happening the best and most efficient and fastest way, okay? But I understand how challenging and dramatic and difficult and frightening this process can be, because because we're in a process of kind of going back and forth. On one hand, at times we feel very in tune and connected and at peace with what's going on in our life, and at other times we're thrust into fear and separation and anxiety, where we're given another opportunity to witness all of our baggage in a very intense way, and then we're back, and then everything. Oh yeah, I understand why that happened. We're good now, and then shit sucks again. It's so hard. I've had so many times in my journey where I have just lost it. I mean, there was this one time that I really wanted to just die. I longed to die because I felt like I was incapable of handling the stress and the fear and the chaos when my life just started falling apart on all levels. I couldn't grasp for any shred of comfort anywhere. No wonder the ego mind is like, what the fuck? It's hard, man. It is. And there was this one time where I found myself just crying and punching shit in my basement. I started throwing stuff. I started taking these glass jars and fucking chucking them at the wall. And I had a nicer camera. Right now I'm using my phone. I had this camera and I just chucked it at the floor. I took a chair and I threw it across my basement, and it hit our main pipe where, like, when you shit and shower, that main drainage pipe, it fucking whoosh, blasted it. Water was spewing everywhere. At that point I was like, I think it's time to relax, buddy. But anyway, so be easy on yourself. Accept that you might have troubling times. It's okay, man. Because in doing that, it's a growth process. Everything that's happening in your life is for your own growth. And what does that mean? I know it's kind of a boring idea. Well, fuck my own growth. I want the Lamborghini. I want the house, the money. Well, your growth, that Lamborghini is dependent upon your growth, basically. So it's like we're getting what we wanted, and we intend for a manifestation. And then we get put into these situations that grow us sufficiently to where we are a match for that vibrational intended end, that manifestation. And again, the number one thing is people trying to control everything with their minds. And that's not to say it's easy. As I mentioned many times, in this entire video, that it's not easy. But the way out of it is to just simply take the next most obviously appropriate step for you. I know that's simple. And if you don't know what to do and you're in that state where you're just kind of freaking out, then the best thing to do is just to sit down and do nothing, okay? And trust that you are being guided towards your manifestation, and that all the things that are happening in your life do have a purpose, and therefore your growth, and your growth is synonymous with your manifestation. So just try to get out of the way, do your best, relax, and trust. Peace, guys.